Hello, Matty boy.
Hello there, Lee Forest. How are you, my friend?
I am supercalifragilistic. Expialidocious.
Already used it. Already. I was thinking just a moment ago. I wonder when he'll bring his new effects in. It was not even 30 seconds.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's
Uh,
fun.
it it
Absolutely delightful.
it didn't sound quite as lovely and musical as I thought when I listened to it back. I've got to be
It
honest.
didn't, did it? No.
I was
You were
really,
you just sang.
I was proper riffing it, and it absolutely did fuck all for me. To be honest, Matt. I might as well have just I might as well be singing a cappella with no effects. I tell you,
Oh my god. Yeah.
that was wild.
It was wild. Yeah, hello, dear listener. Welcome to another podcast. We are here to do a bit of what if but do. But first things first, before we go straight into the intro, it's flipping hot.
It is.
Summer's here.
We're going through a heat wave. The
We blooming are.
sun has arrived.
How
Oh
are you
yeah.
dealing? How are you dealing with it this weekend?
Do you know what? I'm absolutely loving it this weekend. I've been
Yeah,
waiting for
fine.
ages to use the garden in our house.
Mm-hmm.
I've finally got out there. Got my old sunbathe on. Yeah, I'm at the moment. I'm loving it.
Yeah.
Give it a few days. By the time we do our next podcast, I can guarantee I'll be polar opposite. I'll be
Oh,
absolutely
yeah.
livid about the heat.
Yeah. I had a rehearsal today
Mm.
in a really hot studio. Yeah, it was pretty intense, but like it was fine. But like I think the girls aren't very good with heat
Mm.
at all. They're barely wearing any clothes. Haley hates being in a hot car to the point that she like cries at big time. Um, but like we've been in the paddling pool, we've done all that kind of stuff, just kind of trying to keep the kids cool,
Mm.
keep it cool, and that kind of stuff. But yeah, no, I'm with you, mate. I think it's nice. Got a nice breeze going on.
Mm.
Breeze. Sorry, we're talking about the weather. This is
Nice, no.
absolutely horrendous,
But I tell you
horrendously
what,
mundane.
something connected to the weather, which is a bit more interesting.
Yeah.
Guess what I did this afternoon?
What did you do?
I erected a brand new barbecue.
You erected
I assembled it. It's got bigger, and it has reached its full
this.
potential and
This
size.
this barbecue is standing to attention.
It is ready for
Yeah.
use. It is honestly. I felt
Standing tall, I'm sure.
the most masculine I've felt for the 45 minutes
Amazing.
of assembly. Although I felt less masculine when I realised that it should have taken half an hour. And although I say I took 45 minutes, it took me about an hour and a half. So I mean, I had hammers, I had all sorts around me, but it took me double the amount of time it should have. So,
Oh, mate. Well done, you.
but hey,
Um, I've been watching European football all
oh
week. Been
yes,
watching Champions League, Conference League. But West Ham and Man City won, so I think that's great. So I'm wearing a football top today.
he is.
But I thought I'd wear the most peculiar football top that I've got, which is the
Mm.
female India's female lion. I think they're called the lionesses as well, like much like
Oh,
ours,
oh yeah.
or tigress. I think it might be tigress. But this is their away kit from their World Cup a few years ago. It's like hot pink, and I went through a little phase like a couple of years ago of just buying football
Mm.
t-shirts, like random ones.
May I say that you're looking hot in your hot pink tee?
Thank you very much.
Looking
It's
very
proper
nice.
breathable. It's really nice. I thought I'd
Oh,
wear it.
he's going full out with the fashion comments there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
He knows what fabric to wear on such a hot day. Oh, just got to let it breathe. Oh yes. Last but no means least, and this is probably bad for the podcast, but good real footage. Oh,
Oh, look at
did someone
that.
say, "Oh, where's my little finger?" Oh, hello. Hang on. Oh,
Can you
no.
can you can you actually wear it?
Oh, oh, hello. Oh, I'm bench pressing. Oh. Right, but there you go. Look,
Look at that. That is pretty.
look what the beautiful Matt got me for my birthday, eh, boy? Look at this.
So what is it?
Yo, you fucking, yeah, you prick. No, it is the Iron Gauntlet.
It is the Iron
The
Gauntlet.
Iron Gauntlet, because it's the one Iron Man has,
Is it?
not the one that. You told me it was.
No,
mate.
I asked you the question whether it is or it isn't because I couldn't remember
I think
when
it
I got
is.
it.
I think this is yes. I think
That
it
no,
is.
that 1000% looks like Thanos's. Iron Man's is red and way more kind of streamlined.
Yeah, I was going to say this is definitely. I don't know. It's a lovely gauntlet. It's a lovely piece of kit, and it is got the 5 Infinity Stones.
I completely
That's
ruined you.
all.
Complimenting my efforts for presents for you.
Well, what exactly did I purchase you? I don't think that
I
was.
can't even remember, mate.
But it is lovely. It is gorgeous, and it's going to sit there next to my laptop
Amazing.
for the foreseeable future.
Brilliant.
But do you know what we saw a lot of? Do you know where we saw this a lot? The 5 Infinity Stones?
Where?
What if? Oh.
You didn't put an effect on.
All right. What if?
Oh,
How was that?
I don't know. I don't know if I like that. That was a bit invasive.
All right, that didn't roast your potatoes.
Kind of just like threaded right into my ear canals.
Oh, that's not good.
Like,
Like,
it's the what are they called in Lord of the Rings? Wraiths.
oh yes.
All those peeps. all those peeps.
I'm in a cave. Does that sound like I'm in a cave?
Yeah.
That did sound. There you go. Anyway, what if? That's what we're doing this week.
We're doing part 2. We're doing episode 5 to 9, I think.
5 to 9. Yes, we are.
5 to 9. 5 to 9.
I'm just going to say, same disclaimer as last week. Peggy, the cat, is at the door. She will scratch during the show. I hope it's not too loud. If it gets too loud, Matt, let me know.
I'll let you know.
Because otherwise she'll be all over the laptop. You know how it is.
I've got family watching Harry Potter. Which one are you watching? The Harry Potter 4? 3?
Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone.
Ronald Weasley. Ronald.
Unbelievable. Right, let's go straight into it. Really, we've got so
straight
many.
in. Yeah, it's taken us about 20 minutes, but we'll go straight in.
I'll be quite honest. I've said this before, right? Doing series are, oh my God, really?
What the fuck was that?
Blowing your nose. She's so desperate to get on the podcast. She will blow her nose so loudly, obnoxiously, as we're trying to plow through this episode where it's already descended into chaos.
Honestly, the cat is like thumping her head through the door. Rach is blowing her nose. It's
Hurt in there, and I screamed pretty loudly.
No, didn't hear it. Didn't hear it. You okay? Oh, is that why you're limping?
so yeah, TV series. Like, what if episodes 5 to 9?
Now, we were saying it's 35 minutes long in terms of the episodes. They aren't very long in their own regard in terms of the stories that they're telling. But mate, I found it quite. I was trying to watch through 5, 6, and 7 yesterday, and I watched the rest today. I struggled, man. In terms of keeping my focus. Like,
I'm so glad you said that. My attention span, as we're going through these TV series, is so much harder than watching a film. Like,
100%.
But we have to put it in perspective. We are binging these seasons. Like we are absolutely going through episodes. You know, if you do an episode a week like you normally should, you'll be all right. But we are binging, and it is hard. This is like the films are, by far my preference in terms of something you want to binge.
Absolutely. I mean, part of the reason why we're doing it in parts, in 2 parts, right, is so we can digest it not only for ourselves, but for you, dear listeners, so you can listen to it in 2 parts as well. But like, yeah, man, like, I want to make sure that, and this is the other thing, right? We take this fairly seriously now. We've got a schedule, uploads every week. We're in year 2 now. We love what we do. We love you guys engaging in what we're doing. So we do take this fairly seriously. So I want to make sure that I'm giving it my full attention and my full thoughts in terms of making sure that I'm saying the right things, or at least deep diving in the right way, and not just kind of missing anything, or even at times, and we have fallen fault to this, saying the completely wrong things in certain things, right?
The early days, yeah, please don't go and listen to the first podcast, because there are some factual mistakes.
Actually, there's something connected to the early days of our podcast that happens later on, which I
think
we've got to talk about.
Yeah, we both are. Yes, yeah,
we've got to talk about it.
Thanks for reminding me, because I would have forgot. There is something that I've absolutely got to fucking rinse you about later on, boy. Anyway, we're gonna. I love how we vote. Episode 5. What if there were zombies?
Okay, so you said last week you were very excited to watch this. You love The Walking Dead. We'll talk about the Telltale games. We'll talk about Clementine. Okay. And then we're talking about how much we love the stories of The Walking Dead, and how you were much of an avid fan watching it. Zombies are your thing. What were your thoughts on this episode, mate?
Absolute dog shite. The word, honest to God, could not have been. At the end, it slightly it slightly makes up for itself, but for the first 20 minutes of the episode, probably one of the weakest things I've ever seen MCU, and I'll tell you for why. Right, because because I was thinking, right, what makes it so bad? Why is it? When you've got the potential for something that can be so a fresh perspective, quite brand new. What is it about it that means that it's a bit cack? Now, I think that it is because it starts with the heroes that you most want to see dead, or as zombies. Right? We don't see the very beginning of the outbreak. It's the same issue with many, many TV shows that look into zombies.
Yep.
For some reason, writers think it's more interesting to go from the middle of the apocalypse as opposed to showing us how it fucking happened in the first place.
Yeah.
For me...
Well, they did show us how it happened, but it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
There was so many... This is the reason why I didn't like the episode, is that the concept of zombies in the MCU is really interesting, right? But in terms of its origin and how it happens, I think that's where the key is. That's the foundational quality. How does the outbreak start? For some reason, they chose one of the MCU's least favorite movies in terms of franchises. Okay, if you're talking about Thor's trilogy, Captain America's trilogy, Iron Man trilogy. Okay, we'll look at Ant-Man's story, and we'll say that Hank Pym goes to find again, it just happened. Not Hope, but her mum.
yeah.
And then she's somehow, when she's been in the quantum realm, figured out some sort of way to then ingested something, and she's become a zombie. And the particles and the bacteria around her caused her to become a zombie. And then she gets out, and that's how the outbreak happens. That's not strong enough. That's not a strong. That feels so trivial. And this is the other thing. Good zombie stories are told from the perspective of human error.
Yeah.
Right? An outbreak of a bacteria or something that we have created, or something that we've tried to do for better gain, goes horribly wrong. Boom, that's our fault.
And so many Marvel characters traverse the entire world. So it would have made so much sense to have, Hulk's factory where he worked had a fucking leak. It already did. So, there we go. It would have made sense for Spider-Man, the Spider-Man where he goes to Venice or whatever.
Oh,
that film. So many different ways. And like you say, I mistakenly said they didn't look at the beginning of it. They did, but even though they did, it still wasn't fully really explained, and it was
No, it was
such a bullshitty thing. Like,
just
oh
a
yeah,
voiceover. Yeah.
yeah. So it's just that for me was the biggest letdown. Like the characters within it, I liked. So I like
Yeah.
that we get happy.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah.
I also, right, and I know this is right at the end, but oh my god, powerful moment. Chadwick Boseman says the words, "In my culture, death is not the end. They're still with us, as long as we do not forget them."
I forgot how much he is actually threaded in this whole series. And yeah, there are some incredible tributes. There's also a tribute later on in another episode to him. Yes, but like that, yeah, that line is
Yeah.
it's got a different meaning to it now.
Yeah. So yeah, but I don't know. It was very, very bizarre, and classic like Ant-Man not funny humor where it's just him as a head, and they have to even point out the fact that he makes jokes because people aren't going to find it funny, so he has to find himself funny. It's just all really tedious shit.
Like the I think the animation is good. I think the way that they design and animated their zombies, very interesting. I thought it worked. It was quite scary at times as well. They did quite a lot of horror kind of elements within it in terms of jump scares and stuff in it. That's all fine, but it's just like you say, and the biggest issue is the fact that you killed the heroes so quickly. So quickly. The Avengers died so quickly. And I know you have to do that. You've only got 35 minutes to tell the story. But again, if you're looking at something like this, right? And like the zombies concept, the Marvel zombies concept is quite niche. And there's I'd say there's quite a considerable fan base out there with Marvel fan base, comic fans out there that enjoy those stories. They could have just gone further with it. They could have just given it a little bit more time. What I'm really hoping with a lot of these episodes is that we're going to see more of these universes in season 2. Because otherwise this is completely pointless.
Yeah.
And what a waste of time, right?
Yeah. It kind of feels that I feel like they've got to be careful though with What If, because and this is proper random thought, but I know where I'm going with it. So the Spider-Verse and what they're doing at the moment with Miles Morales, and so that's a trilogy, right? It started off with Across, and then the newest one is Into.
No, it's the other way around. Into,
then Across, and then Beyond the Spider-Verse, right? Now, what only thing I'm worried about is this is breaching very similar territory, right? So this first series is exploring, going into like, okay, this is the multiverse, this is how it works, blah blah blah. Then the second season is probably going to be like, people crossing different universes, all of that stuff. And so I'm like, how many times are we going to get this in a different format and a different way? Because I feel like the and this is wider conversation, but I do feel like the multiverse is they are killing it off before it's begun. Just purely because it's being oversaturated. We knew nothing. Well, we did, but we saw nothing of the multiverse on on film or TV until the last couple of years, and now it's fucking everywhere. Like almost every single superhero that we're following in some way is connected to this multiverse now, and it is. It almost feels like we know that there's another 3 years of this because we've got the whole Kang Dynasty, blah blah blah. I'm just slightly nervous that we're going to get a bit of fatigue.
I think you're right to think that, and I think you're right to feel that, and I think we're probably going to find this happen at some point anyway. I think let's just be honest, right, guys? Okay, Marvel fans, MCU fans, dear listener, we've just got to cut this to the chase, right? The Infinity Saga was so next level in terms of storytelling, in terms of long form storytelling, in terms of long form narrative, and the way that it paid off and the way that it was executed at the end of Endgame definitively created something incredibly special. Something on the likes that Star Wars and the original trilogy managed to achieve. That is that level of big, right? This multiverse saga that we're now in, the vast scheme of the multiverse, but the issue with it, and it's kind of a double-edged sword. It's a really interesting concept, but you've got an infinite amount of possibilities, an infinite amount of stories and narratives. And with a concept like What If, it gives the whole premise is for us to open our eyes into these different narratives and stuff. And yes, this gets threaded through towards the end in terms of episode 8 and 9. It kind of ties in. But ultimately, these are all separate universes with their own really long narrative. And what I get really pissed off about this series is that every single episode it's open-ended. It leaves on a cliffhanger. It leaves to the next event. It doesn't wrap up the story. And I know that's deliberate, and I know that was to thread the end, right? But unfortunately, it makes me go, oh, fuck, I've just tried to invest in this bit of universe, and now you're telling me there's a zombie Thanos with his fist at the end coming to take over the planet, and I'm not going to see that.
Yeah.
Or am I going to have to wait in season 2 for it to maybe or maybe not be shown? Like,
Yeah.
What am I buying into here? What is the overall goal?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I would prefer, there's and looking. I just want to look at another universe on its own, not connected to the another one, not
100%.
connected to the current one that we're all following. I just want to for me, what would be really interesting is if we followed. Like, could you imagine an episode or a whole film where you follow? I don't know. Maybe you follow Thor. Right, and and for the first 45 minutes, you're following Thor, and it's set from a certain point in time, so it's really clear to the audience when it's taking place. But for that first 45 minutes, you just assume that you're in the current universe that we're all following, right? What is it?
Right.
Earth
616.
616. So, but something happens after 45 minutes where, like the TV switches on and Loki's like president of the United States, or, something like that, where I just feel like there's so many cool techniques and cool ways where you just keep it on one universe, and let's just explore that for once rather than fucking about like just because it is the multiverse doesn't mean we have to visit multiple universes in that one episode or that one film. I feel like actually it would be nice to explore that one thing. Anyway, over. But
over, yeah.
What if zombie? I feel like I literally cannot speak about the zombie episode anymore, Matt. I don't know about you. Have you got any?
No, mate.
To add
I've only got. I had one note, and I literally put the word underwhelming. So I mean, I'm happy to leave that there and move on to the next one.
Yeah, which is a brilliant one. So this is if Killmonger saved Tony Stark.
You just said a brilliant one.
I really enjoyed this one.
Okay.
I really I like how it goes back to the very first Iron Man film. Thus takes us right to the beginning of the not correct the beginning of the MCU, but you know what I mean. The first film, 2008, when they really went to town with it all. So I thought really interesting concept. I like. I thought the voice actress for Pepper was shit.
Yes. Really
I don't know who that is, and I haven't looked it up prior to the episode. But Christ alive, that is, it just doesn't sound right.
Extremely wooden. But like, to be honest, like, I mean, that wasn't Gwyneth. I think that was somebody else. Oh, yeah. But Bucky, I'll be quite honest, Sebastian Stan actually did do the voice for this, but his lines every time he's on it, his early episodes, especially the first one, oh my god, so bad. Delivery was just so bad. But yeah, I think there were some voicing issues. I think so this is what I think about episode 6. The narrative of Killmonger coming in and then forming this unlikely friendship with Tony Stark and then doing the double crossing and it happens a little bit too many times. And for me, in terms of like really understanding what are the motives, that was what I couldn't get in the narrative. Really understanding what are the motives for Killmonger, or are we just hoping that this person that's an audience member can understand what his motives are just because of Black Panther in the first movie, understanding what he did back then, all about revenging his father's death, all that kind of stuff, and becoming king of Wakanda. That's what he wants to do. Fine, but there were just so many different ways of him getting to that point in this universe. I needed more clarifying on what that was. There was a bit of pacing issues for me. I think, and that's a shame, a huge shame, because I genuinely did enjoy the episode, but I think there were certain bits with Pepper, for instance, that we just didn't need. I think there were certain bits when General Ross was in there as well that we didn't need. I think we just kind of needed maybe a little bit less time with Iron Man as well. Maybe we could have killed him off a little bit earlier because we kind of all knew that that's where it was going. So I think there were just opportunities just to kind of play in a little bit more about the actual motives of Killmonger before it goes into the kind of the main bits.
Yeah, I completely. I think another like wider conversation about what if is I'll be really interested what their thought process high up in Marvel when they created this series, because for many reasons I feel as if they didn't think it would be very successful, because there's a lot of these episodes that are like I say, just go through things so quickly and just bypass like loads of key material, like why Killmonger was doing this should still be in there. It's not, you can't expect your viewers to watch all the other shit. People will come into this new, or certain episodes new. So yeah, I wonder whether they didn't have much faith in the series. Like, they knew they wanted to do a series, weren't quite sure how successful it was going to be, because if they knew it was going to be successful, basically my argument is, do you think these episodes might have been longer? There might have been a longer series. Now, I do know that this series was cut down on episodes.
Yeah, there was another episode
due to COVID.
Yeah.
So this had a lot of ramifications because of COVID. Timelines change, episodes change, and you kind of wonder whether that had a bigger impact than they let us on to.
It just feels like, again, I mean, we're looking at episode 6 right now, but like there was so much in the narrative in terms of seeing Killmonger becoming the next, Black Panther, killing T'Challa as well. And then there was that scene at the end when he went to the ancestral plane to have a chat with T'Challa. Again, really symbolic now with the passing of Chadwick Boseman, but like at the time, of when they recorded that, he was still alive and still, and still about. But like, it has a different tone, right? If anything, now that has T'Challa in it, post his death, will always have a different tone. And I think they could have had an opportunity there to play into that a little bit, let the storyline. And this is the other thing. I think this is a payoff to a lot of audience reactions of how much they really enjoyed Michael B. Jordan's performance in Black Panther, and felt like, actually, we need to see more of him. He was brilliant. He was, in this terms of villain, we want that. We want that kind of guy in the MCU for more of a longer form narrative. So we got this, but in animation form, in a single 35-minute episode. It needed to be, again, a longer episode, or at least just needed its own movie, if anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a shame. I think that Michael B. Jordan didn't really get the payoff that he needed, I think, in terms of his story. But like, mate, I enjoyed it. Again, that was one of the episodes where I was watching it. I was like, I'm enjoying this, but it's really difficult to follow what's going on.
I think it was a very fun episode for me. I thought I took a lot of fun out of it, and I thought Andy Serkis coming back as Ulysses is brilliant, and he is an incredible voice actor.
Yeah, he's good.
So he that was fantastic. I loved the Liberator. It was quite cool.
Yeah.
I thought, yeah, there was some really good scenes in there, some really good fights. You know, sure, he's sussing it out, like that he's not quite as good as you know, some things are missed there.
Makes out to be, yeah.
Was quite good. Yeah, I actually really enjoyed that episode. I'd say it was one of my favourites, to be honest.
Yeah.
Nice. But yeah,
Fair play.
Thor was the only child. Next episode.
Episode 7. Okay, I'm gonna be honest here. This is the worst episode for me. I hated it so much.
I was so not expecting you to say this.
I hate it.
Mad.
It was childish. It was it felt like it was just thrusted together because of a team of writers thought, let's just fucking have some fun with this. Let's just chuck everything at it and just be ridiculous. And it was to a point where it was like, this is farcical. I don't understand. I know this is the multiverse. I know this is all these different stories and all these different eventualities that can play out. But like, Thor was such a petulant bastard, an absolute egotistical wank stain that I could not remotely get on board with. And I know that that's the point, and I know there's that reasoning, hence why. But like the fact that he's like, they kind of have this weird like moralistic vibe at the end where it's like, no, he's got to get an education, he's got to learn about the earth, he's got to go and undo all of his wrongdoings, and he like it's like cleaning like spray paint of Loki rocks off of I don't know, some sort of precious building that we have on this planet. Like, I don't know, it just felt like it was definitely targeted for a younger audience, and this whole series is to be enjoyed by everybody, and that was just too far to a younger audience that I couldn't get on board. The only thing I did like was the banter between Thor and Loki. That was it. Everything was cheap as shit, mate. Fucking hated it. Wank stain. Wank stain of an episode.
Oh, Matt, you are coming into this episode. Literally.
I've never been that harsh.
You've not approved 3 episodes in a row there, mate. That's
no,
what
I haven't.
You've just done. Wow. Okay. All right. Interesting. I totally wasn't expecting that. So that has knocked me sideways. That has. But I I actually enjoyed this as well.
Did you actually?
I did. Because I think I took it for what it was, right? And I think it's
it made me angry, mate. I'm not even joking.
Funny, but it's interesting though, isn't it? Because your Doctor Strange episode that I thoroughly despised and hated, you found interesting.
Yeah.
It was full of lore. It was full of loads of things going on.
There were moralistic narratives in Doctor Strange. This was just some absolute twat acting like a fucking child, and being like, and his mum, and it's literally like Captain Marvel was about to obliterate and be nuked, right, with Thor, and then Frigga turns up going, "You're being a very naughty boy," and he's like, "Oh, sorry, mum." Like it was just, oh, fuck off.
Yeah, fair. But this is what if. So they've got to be zany things going on. It can't be. Well, in Doctor Strange, I remember comic book 479 very well when the Star of Abraham fell upon the earth. And this is this is good. This is what it is. Thor. And the thing is, right? If you know what you know about Thor. And you think like, so I think of the God of War games, and you like look into the mythology, right? He was a drunken idiot. Yeah. Thor is a drunk tool. He is a prat. And to be honest, a Marvel version of him proper made him into a serious being that he's not. Hence, Ragnarok changed that. Hence, Love and Thunder changed that. He isn't a serious being. So actually, this is probably the most realistic version of him.
But that is only justified because we have serious tones in Thor. That's only justified because there are funny bits, but there are also moments where he knows it's time to get to work and time to fight some evil, right? That's why the comedy works in the movies. I don't think, and I'll be honest, and I will say this now, and I haven't said this in the previous episodes when we actually reviewed them. I don't think Ragnarok, for me, I don't think I would love Ragnarok as much as I do if it wasn't for the previous two movies.
Yes.
We got to know a seriousness of Thor, and it was paid off, and it was delivered. Fair enough, forget about the second one, but like when it got to the third one, there was just these lighter tones, but we understood underneath it all, he's this absolute badass.
But isn't the point of this though saying that if it wasn't for Loki and it wasn't for all of that family, this is the kid that was brought up by Odin. Right, fucking Odin, and we know he's as much of a tool as anybody, right? So if he's been brought up in that world in Asgard, protected by this family, what?
You just called Anthony Hopkins a tool.
A tool? No, I didn't call him a tool. The character a tool. And.
Sorry, I lost your flow.
Oh, you did lose my flow there, mate. You're accusing me of all sorts. But no, if he's been brought up and sheltered by his family, and in Asgard, he is the being, right? He walks around, he'll own the place, he's got the looks, he's got the beer. He is. So if he's only ever known that, of course when he comes to Earth, he's going to have a party, because he's probably known for having parties every 5 minutes in Asgard. The only thing that I would say about this that did make me go, what? Is why were the Guardians, the Raider, like different people were there, and I was like, I'm a bit confused why they're there.
Why was shoehorning these characters in?
Why is Howard the Duck there, for fuck's sake?
Exactly.
That did confuse me. Although the subplot of him marrying Darcy was fucking hilarious.
That was quite funny, yeah.
I've got a lot of time for that.
That was quite funny.
Little side plot.
To be fair.
But yes, it was. I don't know. I think I enjoyed it for what it was on its surface level. A little bit of fun. Thought, what would Thor be like if there was no Loki? Hence, no serious. Like Loki brought a lot of shit to the door, right? So without him doing that, what would
all I can say is thank God we've got Loki. Thank God for Tom Hiddleston and his gorgeous voice.
And I'm
by the way, in terms of voice acting, Tom Hiddleston top tier. He's brilliant. He also plays Captain Hook, I think, in a Disney movie, and it is absolutely brilliant. He does.
Yeah, no, it was.
The episode was trash. Absolute trash. Next.
Right, this one. Surely this one. Ultron. What if Ultron won? If you are negative 4 times in a row, Matt. Honestly, this.
Okay, Forrest. Okay, I'll go. I'll start.
God alive!
I have got to say, honestly, now. No.
Yeah, there are a few things actually about this episode.
Honestly, this was quite possibly the most interesting concept for an episode I've ever watched in What If, and I absolutely fucking loved it.
Hey!
There you go. Oh, I teased you there, dear listener. I threw a curveball right in your face.
This is so weird, Matt, because I think this series, we are so polar opposites on almost every episode.
I think so, mate.
Because this episode, I didn't like.
Are you joking?
Well, the fact that fucking Ultron's not voiced properly pissed me off.
Let that go for starters.
No, because the voice is, who's the guy that
James Spader.
James Spader's voice is Ultron. So you lose that. It felt like it lost a bit of Ultron.
Fair enough.
And also, what we've been talking about just now, about the fact that like a plot just going straight in and pretending like you know everything. Fucking this is paramount for that. It's it like zoom straight through. I'm like, what is going on?
I'm beginning to understand now. Anything that revolves around multiversal concepts, you're like, fucking, I'm out. No. No. The grand scheme of the multiverse, no. He's now conscious that the Watcher's there. No. I'm out. Get all sciencey. Nah.
Although, no, there was some brilliant, like him splitting Thanos in half was incredible.
Sick moment.
What a moment. It certainly wasn't bad, but I wouldn't go crazy about this episode.
Wow. Really?
God, yeah.
So this is, okay, so I think this is a really, really interesting concept in terms of actually Ultron winning, getting what he wants. This is how you do a what if episode, I think. You are looking at something where it's quite pivotal. There was a moment in Age of Ultron, in Avengers, when Vision was created, that there was a genuine moment where we were like, oh my God, Ultron's going to do this. Like he's gonna absorb the powers of Vision. He's gonna become this kind of character, and he doesn't, and we don't see it. Fine, the heroes win. But that is the moment where we go, actually, what if it does happen? And that's the payoff that we got in this episode. We saw an absolutely ultra powerful, and I'm talking ultra. I mean, this is the thing, right? And I'm saying this now. If K-Dog right now was sat in the Disney studios with his massive gamer chair, with his gauntlet in hand, playing with his gauntlet, and he's got like a She-Hulk mug, okay, with his hat on, sipping through his cup of joe, and he's thinking, God, guys, what are we going to do about Jonathan Majors? Honestly, we need to figure this out. I would go in right now, kick the door down, okay, puff of smoke behind me, all right, deep breath in, okay, and I would just like point at Kevin Feige, and I'll go, we're talking Vision Ultron What If Episode 8. And he's going to go, oh my God, that's it. That's how we kill off the Kangs. We have this Ultron, right? This is my grand theory. This Ultron comes in, breaks the multiverse, breaks the Watcher, murders the Watcher, and then finds our universe. Okay, and our universe currently have this Kang issue, and he just wipes them out. And then we've got a bigger bad. Because I honestly think this villain of Ultron, this version of Ultron, is top tier villain. Top tier villain. And I was all there for it, and I loved the episode. And I'm just saying, K-Dog, if you're listening, there's a little offer for you, my friend.
One of my... Another problem I have with this episode is that you've had closed each episode has been its own thing, right? Closed episodes, they might not have good endings, as we've established, but they've been closed off. This episode gets teased right at the end of the Thor one when all of the Ultrons appear, and then the Watcher's like, what's happening here? And then this episode. Basically, and I think this might be another issue with the whole, they had to remove an episode in the series, but this episode is merely there so that we get to the last episode in the series. And for me, that's a bit shit.
But this is a good story.
It is, but that's not what is What If trying to be? Is it?
Oh, I don't know. I can't. You're right. There's no.
Is it an episode, featuring a little bit of multiverse each episode? Is it following the story of the Watcher? Is it, because it's not doing anything that it's setting out to do. Because if it's following the Watcher, then it needed to tease the Watcher. Like, the Watcher needed to be far more pivotal earlier on rather than shoehorn right at the end of the series, right? And it kind of was, but then episodes 2 to 4 or episode 2 to 5, nothing fucking happens for him. So it's not that. It isn't we're travelling the multiverse for the whole series. It isn't we're going to spend any time in any of these different universes, because by the time we do, we then disappear into another one. What is it?
I just feel like that what they should do is just to be a little bit more kind of strategic in terms of those moments of when is the what if event going to happen, right? Because we got what if zombies, we got what if zombies, but we haven't seen that concept be played out, or what if Hank Pym becomes a villain? Like, we haven't seen these things be played out. We don't know how and when that might happen. You've got to spell that out for us. So, what the reason why I like this episode so much is because we can go, oh, right, it's in that point in Age of Ultron where it's gone differently. So we can subconsciously put a connection to the 616 version that we are watching through the MCU universe, but like within that, we just find those pivotal key moments to play out a different timeline. That's why the Killmonger episode's really good. Okay, we don't have to Tony Stark being blown up by his own tech. He gets saved by Killmonger, then we play out a different story. That works as a concept. They did it a few times with those 2 episodes, maybe a little bit with Captain Carter 1 as well. But like overall, I think this is the best episode in the series, and just great fight scenes. Just seeing the Watcher fight and put on his like Watcher armor as well. I think that was great. I do like. I feel like at that point I'm invested by the Watcher. What I really enjoy in the beginning of that episode is this really simple line, and he just delivers it so well. He just kind of goes, "This is the story. This one breaks my heart." And you're like, "Oh my God, what happens here?" And it's great. I think Clint and I think Romanoff are just brilliant in these episodes, and they're played by the actors as well in terms of the voice, and it's just brilliant.
Is it though? Romanoff's Scarlett Johansson's not in it, mate.
Is she not?
No. And that actually did surprise me. But no, it is not her. It is she's in a rom-com with Simon Pegg.
It's Jeremy Renner though, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's definitely Jeremy Renner, yeah. But
I'm really surprised by that, really.
It is she's a female actress, Lake Bell. Lake Bell, yeah. But it sounds very convincing. She does a very convincing Scarlett Johansson's like.
I legit thought it was her.
Yeah, no.
Well, that's great.
But yeah, no, fantastic. I completely agree. I think one of my favourites is Zola being back, and it's Toby Jones. That is definitely Toby Jones. Unmistakably Toby Jones. So the fact that he's back. And the Hydra connections I really enjoy. Steve Rogers is president in this world, and that's not fucking explored either.
No, that's literally a background shot.
And I'm like, brilliant, great. Like, why we not got a whole episode about that? Because that literally would have been interesting. So hopefully that comes back in season 2. Because I need to see me some Steve Rogers being the president. That'd be cool.
President Rogers.
President Rogers. But yeah, and then Doctor Strange at the end asks the Watcher, is he ready to break his oath? Which takes us into the last episode, Matt.
Yeah, so I think in terms of this episode, they're trying to tying in the rest of these episodes by bringing these heroes back. But that's never really teased. It just kind of happens quite quickly, and it's kind of, there's no thread of that being teased in, other than the fact that they leave these stories open-ended, but it's only because when the Watcher goes to collect these heroes, he collects them at the point where the episode ends. That's it. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. So the Watcher collects Gamora. Why Gamora?
And we've not had any episode of Gamora.
But firstly, hi Gamora. How you doing?
Yeah. Nice
Secondly,
to see
why?
Yeah. She featured which one early on, didn't she? She featured in the one.
Oh, the second one. No.
Oh, Lost Its Mightiest Heroes.
This is the one with T'Challa, Star-Lord.
Oh no, T'Challa become a Star-Lord. That one. Yeah.
Which is okay.
Yeah. So Gamora, yes.
And so Gamora, we get Captain Carter from the first episode. We get Star-Lord T'Challa. We get Supreme, Doctor Strange, of course. Killmonger we get. Who else do we get? Black Widow, Thor, and baby douchey Thor. Fine, all great, but let's be honest. Let's just say it now. So the Watcher collects them into the pub. Okay, Doctor Strange goes, look, yeah, I thought a pub would be a nice way for us all to meet. Very nice, very good moment. And then the Watcher goes, you are the guardians of the multiverse.
And it was exactly that moment that I thought to myself, Matt had seen this. Matt had seen this before our very first podcast episode. And I said to Matt on a night out, before we ever produced this podcast, I said to Matt, I reckon, what about Guardians of the Multiverse? I reckon that'd be a great name. Matt, not one part of you, mate, thought, hang on a minute. I remember that What If episode.
No, but this is the thing. I do not remember at all him ever saying that. So I genuinely, and this is why, because when I just watched it just now, I went, wait, what? Like, out loud, I was like, wait, what? And so it must have been subconsciously, I've seen it before.
Yeah.
And then when we were pitching this podcast, I must have gone, yeah, it's Guardians Multiverse. I mean, it did make me laugh.
Just for a bit of context, so in case you are a newer,
go back to the
listener,
clip. Let's do a clip now. Can you do a clip now? Can we do a little rewind?
Rewind. We are the Guardians of the Multiverse.
We are,
obviously.
My
name's Forrest, and
hi, I'm Matt. Yeah, I'm waving.
The wave is going to be.
I did a physical wave there when I know there's people listening. We are the Guardians of the Multiverse. And what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that, Forrest? What do we mean by that?
So we are in love with the Marvel Universe, like completely and utterly in love with it. I mean, there's a lot that we don't know. Like, in no way are we going like fully to town with these. With the films, with anything we discuss, we are two blokes that love it. But I don't know about you, Matt. I can't convince anyone that we know everything. There you go. I don't know what I'm going to put there.
Well, that was our very first episode. And we at that point decided that we were going to be called Guardians of the Multiverse until literally after recording that there literally is a Guardians of the Multiverse, which are these guys that were used to protect the timeline. Now, I think it's a cool concept, and I do wonder whether we'll get this in live action MCU at some point. I think we're going to be building upon this Guardians of the Multiverse maybe more and exploring it more in What If going forward into season 2. But yeah, I think as the episode as a whole, it was fine. It was fine. Yeah. There were just moments of good storytelling. I think the pacing was again a bit off. There was that really nice moment where they do they reminisce from the Avengers Assemble sort of like panning round in the circular motion where they're all being the superheroes that they are. Very good kind of nod to the first Avengers movie. But other than that, everything else was kind of forgettable, which is a shame because I think they kind of set the episode up to be pretty special from episode 8.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think this episode, the big fight at the end went on for way too long for me.
Yeah.
When they're trying to steal the Infinity Stones away from Ultron to make him less powerful, it just goes on for too long. It's like, well, hang on a minute, we haven't stuck in any of the moments that we wanted to stick into for the rest of the series. All of the other pivotal moments you've just glossed over, and now we have to have a full length fight, which we know from the beginning. Okay, well, surely Ultron can't win this, otherwise it doesn't continue. What's gone on here? So yeah, it was really good potential, and it was enjoyable in many parts, but fell off a cliff for me. I definitely did yawn here. Yeah, absolutely.
That was the best way of describing it. Sorry, it was fine.
What I do love though, right? So we're at the end of the kind of what if series now.
Yeah.
So I kept this bad boy for a long time. I never watched
I-
it, and you
yeah.
were like, "Oh yeah, what if?" Oh, I've got to say, Matt, mate. Yeah,
Now,
it let me down there, mate.
I must have either I've clearly blotted some bits out of my head because obviously the Guardians of the Multiverse I left my brain very quickly. There were just certain. I think when I first watched it, I was really taken by the animation. I was quite clearly excited originally by the multiversal concept, and I enjoyed it as a whole in terms of it being quite isolated to the MCU. Now, upon watching it the second time, I am left feeling very deflated. And I'll be quite honest, very deflated. Like, kind of like, wow. Now you can sort of, now we're outside of the bubble effectively, and we're past this kind of moment. But like, superhero fatigue and the writers trying to figure out what the hell they're doing with the MCU going forwards, the rushing of things. This has clearly been affected by COVID, amongst Black Widow as well being affected by COVID. You just kind of you quite clearly can see the issues that are being played out in this brand new form of content, which is on Disney Plus, right?
Yeah.
And mate, yeah, second time watching, I'm bitterly disappointed. Because I thought it was okay at first, and I got to say first, I got to apologise because I really did for the best part.
All right, Matty boy.
Told you this was going to be a special series, but I'll be honest, mate, it was a pile of wank.
It was fucking shit. It was bloody awful, man. You know.
Well, it wasn't totally a pile of wank. For the most part, it was, but I think there were some
Yeah.
decent moments. But yeah,
I think we just, you know, we've at this point, me and you have watched copious amounts
can't believe
of
that we're
Marvel
still.
content
Yeah.
in the last year, and I think, you know, we are at the stage now where things will be ripped apart if they
Yeah.
are not in comparatively good terms
Yeah.
to the rest of the stuff.
Yeah.
And you know, and this is by far a weak link, unfortunately. But absolutely, what you said is true. Like, animation, amazing.
Yeah.
How it looks, incredible. But it's just, you know, if they must have had so many problems with it because of COVID, and you kind of just go, if it was really that difficult, and it looks like it was because you got rid of an episode, the times are a bit weird, just sit on it for a bit and bring it back at another time. Back at another time.
Before we talk about series 2, season 2, because I think that kind of follows it into it quite nicely. What are you going to rate this? What's your rating?
I reckon this is like, I reckon you've gone into the shop, you're having a look at the crisps on offer, and you're having a look and you're going, oh, do you know what? You know what I fancy? I fancy some Thai chili sensations. You know, the lovely red sensation.
Oh yeah, they're good.
You know, oh, lovely. Right, you've gone in, you've gone, right, I know what I'm getting those. But not only is it the only version of sensations you can get, but it's the only crisps in the entire shop, and it's those roast chicken ones that don't taste that great.
Oh, that's controversial. Some people love those.
Is it controversial? Oh, right, I didn't realise. But yeah, I mean, yeah, of course there are gonna be people who love them. Yeah,
Of course.
It's controversial.
But I get you. Yeah,
it's the yeah. It's just, you know, you've gone in thinking, oh, this is gonna be a fantastic, you know, bag opening, a great experience, an all sensory experience, and you've gone in and it's the worst kind of version of crisp you could possibly get.
I'm with you on that. I think for me, my analogy. So you're saying about in terms of if we're giving it a percentage or a rating out of 10.
30%.
Wow, that's really low.
Yeah, it was there were so many like wrongdoings. So many.
So for me, it's like going in with your favorite packet of crisps and going, you know, the hype is always there with your favorite packet of crisps. You know what you're getting. You're going to love it. It's going to be brilliant. You've got a good amount of contents in there. You open it up. Every single crisp is burnt to a crisp. I could say it's overbaked crisps. right? All taste like crap. Not you're like, what is this? This is ruining my experience. It's that. I think for me, if I was to give this a percentage or whatever, but like, yeah, I'd say it's under half in terms of contents of this bag. I'd say maybe just over a third. No, yeah, no, yeah, just over a third.
Yeah,
Like there were some good moments, but it was just underwhelming. Underwhelming is the word.
So I'm a massive sweet popcorn fan, right? And it's like I bought a bag of sweet popcorn, but it's all salted popcorn inside.
Oh yeah, okay.
That would be like,
Yeah.
you've teased me in.
Yeah.
And that's you, Matt. You teased me in.
I did. I'm so sorry.
You wrote me in.
Dear Forrest, I'm so sorry.
Catch of the day I was, Matt. And then
I reeled you right in.
You put me on the boat, and people are kicking the shit out of me.
But dear listener, you have got to tell us what you think about What If, please. Okay, we've been quite scathing in this 2 reviews now, 2 weeks worth of talking about What If. Controversial series, no doubt. Lots of different thoughts, lots of opposing thoughts. You've got to tell us what you think of it, all right? Give us an email at don'tbeaheropodcast@gmail.com or give us a message on the Instagram at don'tbeaheropodcast. We want to hear. We'll put a message out as well on our social media streams to sort of see what you think.
Season 2, Matt. What do we know about it?
Now, we know for sure, back in March, it was announced that it's been delayed. Now, going back to what you're thinking about in terms of the animation, that it needs to have some more time, that is quite literally what they have decided to do. Now, in terms of the stories, in terms of the animation, they said the producers and the visual effects team actually did quote saying that it takes a long time to do a series like this. So we've got more time. However, we're looking like at an early 2024 release. They haven't defined a date yet still, but we've got early 2024 coming in for What If.
Yeah.
They did say nearly end of the year of this year, but that looks very unlikely. We would have known by now.
There is a part of me that really thinks like, I just think there's too much multiverse stuff, and I think Marvel were honestly, I'm up there of the kind of belief where they might can it, because and they might. I just think that there is far too much of it. It's in everything. Like the multiverse is great, but fuck me, it's nowhere near as good as the Infinity Saga. Like.
Yeah, I don't think they'll can it, but I think they could shorten it and cancel some projects and get to the end of the saga a lot sooner.
Yeah.
And then they'll go forward with something else.
Yeah. And that's what I'd like to know from our wonderful listeners who do read the comics, are well adversed. What else is out there? What are you really excited for in the future of Marvel? Like, can we part of the multiverse? It could be something completely different. Let us know. Drop us a comment. What are you really excited about? Because that's what I want to know. I want to know some sneaky stuff that I don't know exists. Tell me some secret projects we don't know about yet.
Yes.
That's what I'd like to know.
Do it.
Hit me up.
Yeah. Mate, what are we watching next?
So, I think we are about to make the biggest jump in quality we've ever made. So, we've gone from this, and then next week, believe it or not, Matt, we've already reached Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
This is mad.
I cannot wait. This, I think I've said it a few times during our podcast.
You have.
This is my fucking number one all-time up there with Guardians. Shang-Chi was an incredible experience when we saw it. I think this is the first film we saw together, Matt.
I don't think it was actually, mate. I don't think it was.
Oh.
It was. I think this was the movie when we decided to do this podcast.
Oh.
And we started talking about it because I think I told you that I the first time I saw it was when it came out on Disney Plus. This is the only, and I'll be honest, this is the only MCU movie I did not go to the cinema to go and watch.
Oh,
and that wasn't because I decided I didn't want to, just because I was just too busy. And I missed out.
Missed out big time.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to watch this again.
Yeah, same.
And I really hope it's as good as I remember. I just
You don't want
came
this
out
to
of that
happen.
cinema and
You don't know what if situation with me.
oh God, I hope not. I hope not, because after Shang-Chi, do you know what we got?
It's not it, is it?
It's
not it, is it?
It's the time we've been waiting for.
I can't.
So
No.
we go from What If, which is meh, to Shang-Chi, which is fucking incredible, to Eternals.
No, Forrest.
Yes.
Forrest. I'm so sorry. I cannot be your
time has
co-host
come.
anymore.
The time.
I'm
You gotta be
handing
there,
my
Matt.
notice in. My notice is in.
We need to bring someone else on though.
I think we
need a
should do
guest,
something
mate.
special. I've got an idea.
need-
I'll let you know, dear listener. You've got to wait, but I'm going to tell you after we've finished this recording. All right?
Fantastic. But we'll see you next week for an incredible movie. I can't wait, Matt. I'm thoroughly excited.
Bring it on, Shang-Chi. Let's go.
Ta-ra for now.
Bye, dear listener. I love you.